Reap, Cambodia is known for its incredibly kind and hardworking people, its delicious Khmer food, historic temples, affordability, and more. It has an ease and peace that stole our hearts.
Welcome back to Finding Gina Marie, where we share our lives as full-time travelers and the connections we make along the way.
If you're new here, welcome. I'm Judy.
And I'm Kevin.
If you do an internet search on where to stay in Cambodia, most of the hits will tell you to go to Siem Reap, which is where Angkor Wat is, which is a bucket list place for many, many people.
We tell you what you need to know before you visit and some of the special places that made us feel right at home here in Siem Reap.
We'll also take you on a bike ride with a local so that you can see part of the countryside and learn about the agriculture and the culture of Cambodian people. We've got a lot to cover in this episode, so buckle up.
And at the end, we'll include everything that we spent.
Right in the center of the brand new Siem Reap airport, prepare to be welcomed by a huge 7-meter statue of the four faces of Brahma, built with nearly 8 tons of pure copper, which was created to bless the passengers who travel to Cambodia, that they may be safe and sound from the 4 directions, west, north, east, and south.
As recently as October 2023, Siem Reap opened its new airport and closed the old one that was much closer to the city.
Siem Reap's economy is built on tourism, and the old airport couldn't handle increased traffic, and pollution caused damage to Angkor Wat.
So the drive to the center of the city will now take about an hour, but hopefully you'll be as lucky as we were and have a great Grab driver to act as a mini tour guide and provide commentary along the way.
Over there you see, you look royal resident.
Beautiful.
King when he come here.
We love using Grab app because there are no surprises about how much a drive will cost, and you also don't need cash.
Speaking of cash, Cambodia uses the Cambodian riel, but it also accepts US dollars. It was weird to sit in a restaurant, look across the street, and see the cost of items marked as US dollars.
ATMs are easy to find, and the ones we used only dispensed American money.
If you pay in US dollars, your change will be whatever is in their till, so either dollars or Cambodian riel.
If your change includes dollars, look them over to be sure they're good quality so that you can use them with other vendors. If a place accepts credit cards, some may tack on an extra 3% to offset the fees.
But make sure you have cash because many places don't accept credit cards at all.
If you need a recommendation on where to stay, we highly recommend the Central Market Street in Kendall Village. We absolutely love the location. Our Airbnb was incredible, and our host Ananda and co-host Virik were some of the warmest, kindest, and most special people we've met ever on our travels.
They made special accommodations for us and moved us to a wonderful place that had a patio outside it and also a rooftop area that was set up with Wi-Fi so we could work outside or hang out upstairs.
There was some construction going on, and they just were the perfect host, wanting to make sure that we had everything we needed.
Now, the water in Cambodia is not drinkable, so we were really grateful that they had a water tap that had filtered water. It was just outside our apartment. We could walk out, fill water jugs, and not have to worry about wasting plastic bottles.
Filtered water? That's nice.
People also recommend the Old French Quarter area. It's a nice area too.
Another rule in Cambodia is you can't flush the toilet paper. So they usually have a bum gun or bidet next to the toilet, and you'll also see a small bin where you can toss your toilet paper instead of flushing it.
As far as first impressions go, we really didn't have any expectations before we arrived. We kept open minds and decided to let the experience come to us.
And boy, did it ever. We were pretty impressed. We arrived on December 22nd, so we're looking forward to experiencing Christmas and New Year's here.
There are 2 basic seasons in Cambodia, the hot season and the wet season. The wet season also is fairly toasty too.
December was hot and dry, so it did mess with our minds about what time of year it was. But there were plenty of festive Christmas and New Year's decorations to remind us.
The majority of Cambodians are Buddhists, but since there is so much tourism here, shops decorate for Christmas for its Christian visitors, even though it's not a Cambodian holiday.
Tuk-tuks are everywhere, and drivers will ask to be hired, but they're not overly aggressive.
There's a strong motorbike culture here as well, but traffic overall is pretty manageable.
Crossing the streets was easier than some places we were in Vietnam.
The drivers seemed to work a bit more collaboratively with pedestrians, which was a welcome thing to experience compared to some other parts of Southeast Asia.
And the whole town seemed a bit quieter. There wasn't as much traffic overall.
Saturdays were the days when some places were closed, but we were surprised that most people only got one day off per week.
We were told that's in large part because the culture of hospitality here, and we certainly believe it.
The level of service here is unmatched. Before we talk about the incredible food here in Cambodia, we're excited to share that we've started our own absolutely free community forum that we are calling La Familia. You can ask questions about trip planning and all things related to travel there. A video with the details is linked in the description below.
Nearly every place we ate had a combination of Western food items and Khmer foods on their menus.
You may know that we love coffee, and we are happy campers when we can find a coffee shop that we want to return to day after day. In Siem Reap, that place was the Little Red Fox Espresso.
Could we take a picture of you all? Yes, and we have a YouTube channel. Would you be comfortable if we put it on YouTube? Yes? Would that be okay? Yes.
For us as full-time travelers, having a morning routine and seeing familiar faces every day helps us to feel more connected to the locals and create relationships that we can cherish long after we leave.
Their beans came from Southeast Asia, and they're roasted in Phnom Penh. If you have a big group, you can even make reservations.
And I was in love with their coffee, especially their flat whites.
Here on their website are some of the people that brightened up our mornings.
Sophia and Samet were ready to take our orders every day.
They always had a smile and knew what we wanted even before we could get the words out of our mouths.
And sometimes we said the wrong thing and they said, "Are you sure?" But no matter who walked in the place, every single member of the staff were friendly, helpful, kind, and just wonderful.
I think it's a testament to how attuned they are to their customers. There's an item called the bougie bowl that I ended up eating a lot.
You have a very lively looking bowl of food there.
Yes, I do. This is something that apparently one of the locals or regulars must have requested, and so they turned it into an on-item item. And it's beetroot hummus and red rice and chickpeas and chia seeds and feta and spinach with some soy sauce and some hot chili sauce. I think it's going to be a really tasty bite. Oh, and corn.
Oh.
It's very, very tasty.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of meat in it on its own. I don't know, it's a really good, really, really good bite. Very tasty, warming, little bit of spice on it. It's quite good.
Good. Enjoy. Digging into my blat. Bacon, lettuce, avocado, and tomato bagel.
Close to our Airbnb, Soben Cafe restaurant and guest house served some of the best fruit frappes.
Fortunately, most of the restaurants we ate at used filtered packaged ice versus ice made from tap water, so we felt pretty comfortable having some of the frozen fruit drinks.
Because it was so close, we ate several meals at Soben Cafe.
So this is our last night here, and Cambodia has been absolutely amazing. We decided to go back to one of our favorite places, which has a delicious chicken curry. It's just been wonderful. I'll give it a little taste, just so you can also know how good it is. It's not spicy, but there's spice here if you want to add it, which I sometimes do, and absolute perfection. Creamy, delicious, lots of carrots and potatoes and chicken and a strawberry frappe. But it's been really great. We run into these people all the time and we wave when we go by and eat somewhere else, but we are here for our last night. Very bittersweet. Often when we were just walking by Soben's open-air dining room, the servers would wave and say hello, regardless of what time of day or night it was, and definitely not expecting us to come in, just being friendly.
Another restaurant with great people was Il Forno.
It's not Cambodian at all. And we do have a Cambodian dinner scheduled for Christmas Day, but we thought that it would be a nice little splurge to treat ourselves to some Italian food because it sounds like it's supposed to be really good here.
We had a little guilt eating here because there's no Khmer food on the menu.
That's in part because the owner is a pure Italian.
He's accumulated an impressive wine cellar, and the food here rivals places we've eaten in Italy, especially their pizza.
Like, you need 2 hands to pick it up.
You look like a little kid.
I know, I feel like a little kid. Oh, it's quite good.
So what I wasn't expecting was the bread to be so addictive. Nice salt, oil, and just light. That's dangerous. It's gonna make the big meal harder to finish.
But honestly, every single thing is outstanding. That's partially because all the ingredients are imported from Italy and they make their own homemade pasta.
It's like Italy.
Christmas dinner at the high-end Mallis restaurant was a unique experience.
Although we made reservations well in advance, we really didn't need them because we had the restaurant to ourselves for almost the whole time we were there.
Yeah, we arrived at 4 p.m. and no one showed up until almost 6 as we were wrapping up our meal.
We had an assortment of Cambodian food, including the showy chicken red curry and rice wrapped in a lotus leaf.
Chicken curry and in lotus leaf.
Oh wow, beautiful.
Thank you.
We ended with homemade ice cream.
This one's soap, coconut, and durian.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. And one with sour sap, which had a slightly bitter note at the end. I didn't mind the durian, but Kevin preferred the coconut most.
Another of our favorite places was a Cambodia restaurant called Our Place.
My go-to dinner was their spicy basil beef with rice and egg.
As we were getting settled in there one night, we happened to connect with Steve and Paul. Steve and his wife Ting Ting are actually the owners of Our Place, but we didn't know that until we've been chatting across the table for probably over an hour.
These sorts of conversations don't happen everywhere we go, but when they do, they're magic.
A lot of people visit Pub Street, which is a vibrant, energetic part of the city with a mix of local and Western foods and a lot of drinks.
Hence the name. We made our way to one of the nearby alleyways for some truly outstanding gelato at Gelato and Coffee Lab, but the entire area feels very happy and lively.
Between Old Market and Pub Street is Khmer Kitchen.
Originally, this home kitchen served food to locals and aid workers from the UN and Red Cross, but now it's a 2-story open-air restaurant serving inexpensive Khmer food.
We gobbled up their fresh spring rolls, watermelon juice, spicy Khmer fish soup, deep fried fish, and grilled chicken with rice.
We over-ordered, so learn from us. Because the prices were so reasonable, we expected portion sizes to be small.
To be fair, we really wanted to try a lot of their foods. Another festive part of town for inexpensive food is the river area, where you can find every imaginable assortment of street food.
We saw vendors busy with people waiting in lines and fresh food cooked while you ate.
Just like in Vietnam, we loved that the colorful small plastic tables and chairs were all over the place.
We didn't eat at any of those places because we mostly found our favorite places elsewhere in the city, but the atmosphere was great.
We also didn't sample any of the grubs and insects this country is famous for, but there are plenty of those places to try them if you've got an adventurous palate.
We do not. Although there are tons of things that you can do in Siem Reap, we really didn't do a whole lot of sightseeing and touristy type things.
We don't really shop for the most part, but you should at least wander through Old Market. The outer stalls might entice you with its souvenirs, clothes, and collectibles, but wander inside and you'll be transported into a genuine local market with everything from housewares to fresh food to food stalls.
There's also the Made in Cambodia market, which is a community market of high-quality products crafted by Cambodian locals.
These are internationally known artisans and designers. And I even bought some Cambodian whiskey here, which you can watch a review that I have on it on my Whiskey Riffs channel.
One of the things that made us laugh was how many stalls there are in the street selling spare keys and key fobs.
I do not know what the attraction is, but there are a lot of key shops here. So if you get locked out, you are safe.
I didn't think it was possible to have so many of these coexist. We haven't seen them anywhere in our travels.
But apparently they do.
We did find out when we were leaving from our Grab driver that a lot of the vehicles that they use in this area are imported from California. And he wanted to have a lot of keys for his car, so he said, I have 4 keys. I guess that's why they have so many of these fob centers.
This was not an activity we had any interest in trying, but for $3 you can dunk your feet into an aquarium and get your feet tickled by various sized fish.
Do you like it? Yeah, it's fun. Yes? How about you?
I'd say not quite as ticklish for me.
But does it feel good or restorative? Yes? On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
For $3, a 10.
Really? Yes? Cool.
Good experience.
Thank you so much.
We're going to give Angkor Wat its own video, so subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll also include info from our Angkor National Museum tour in that episode.
One of the experiences that I had arranged during this trip was a countryside bicycle tour through Airbnb experiences.
This was great to do in the dry season, but it'll be so muddy in the wet season that I don't think it'll be possible.
Well, it might be scheduled, but I probably wouldn't take the tour at that time of year. We felt very safe having Vicheka navigate us through traffic, but be warned that the dirt roads off the beaten path were quite bumpy.
It was worth it though. I would not hesitate to do it again.
We cycled to the vegetable and paddy fields, and Vicheka introduced us to the types of vegetables grown and the day-to-day routine of the local farmers.
It was a very warm day, and we saw workers bent over in the fields doing a lot of manual labor.
People work really hard here. A kilo of basil earns only 50 cents.
Which seems criminal because it's a lot of work to pick those crops. The locals are thankful though for a way to earn income and also being able to produce food for their families as a result of their labors.
We had several tasting experiences, including a Cambodian gooseberry.
No.
You like?
I like.
Yeah, you like? Mm-hmm. Sour, huh?
Shower.
Yeah, it's sour, but it's really good.
It's like unripe grapes.
I feel like that little girl meme.
And there are banana trees which grow everywhere.
This tour includes a visit to a crocodile farm.
Kevin. I had no idea. These are big.
This may not be the place for everyone because crocodiles raised here are used for their meat and skins and just cared for until they're sold.
We had this tour all to ourselves, so if this is something you don't want included, you can ask to skip it.
Speaking of manual labor, here's someone pushing heavy machinery through a muddy field.
In his bare feet and pulling out fish that will end up being dinner.
Now what will you do with them?
For price. Fry.
Ah,
Right.
okay.
Right.
For yourself. You will not sell or...
At low eh?
What?
At your low eh? No, only eat.
We also visited a mushroom farm. We had no idea the long multi-step process for growing these.
So the first thing, how they make the spore. The spore they make from rye. You can see the rye inside. So it must be cleaned, no virus.
Mm-hmm.
No.
No virus.
No,
Virus.
oh, okay, yes.
They first begin in sterilized glass jars and eventually end up in these bags.
Mushrooms grow out of the sides of the bags. The farmers walk down the aisles, cut off what's grown, sell that.
And in a few days,
It's raw.
fresh mushrooms will shoot and the cycle repeats
But
itself
you don't
over
just
again.
to the ground. How was it?
It's a mushroom.
Pork is one of the most prominent meats you'll find here in Siem Reap. And here is an actual pig pen.
We pedaled to this Buddhist temple, and Vicheka shared a bit about Hinduism and Buddhism, including that Buddhists are cremated in public ceremonies.
These catfish located here are protected by the monks and are not used for food.
The black and the white one.
We also visited a local market and tasted fried banana fritters,
Very good.
mongan, which tastes like a sweet grape with a thick skin and seed.
It's good.
Crabapple.
No. It's sweeter than you think for as small as it is.
And velvet tamarind, which is a legume that grows in a shell similar
Yes.
to peanuts.
So you take the flesh inside. Be like it. Do it.
I've only had tamarind paste before.
Ah.
I didn't realize it came this way.
Thank you.
They have seed inside. The black seed.
Very good.
Cambodian donuts, sweetened with jaggery, were a bit too sweet for us, but it was cool to experience them.
Oh, wow. Is this honey?
No, a brown sugar.
Ah,
Thank you.
And then we cooled
Oh, yeah.
off with a
Yeah,
that's
cup
big.
of iced coffee.
We stopped by a lotus field and tasted lotus seeds,
a little bitter, but just at the end.
Yeah, can take it.
and then we relaxed a bit with some Cambodian beer.
Okay, cheer.
Cheers.
We call chol mui. Chol mui cheer.
What does that mean?
Cheer. Chol mui.
Then our tour ended at our guide's home. His wife has a juice stand where we tasted sugarcane juice.
Orange.
Oh, okay.
More flavor.
It's not nearly as sweet as you might think.
Then our guide impressed us with his machete skills, showing how to prepare the sugarcane for the juice press.
We even got to take home some green mangoes.
There's a link in the description for this experience, if you're interested in taking it.
We had such a great time.
One of the best things about this tour was how enriching it was. We felt like getting to know locals and how they live and how they work and how they shop was so worth it.
Highly recommend. Siem Reap was a lovely place for the holidays. We mentioned having a great experience for Christmas, but New Year's Eve was lively and fun too.
There was a festival set up with food stalls and balloons during the day, and at night there was a live band that everyone loved, and also fireworks.
The downside was that there was a glitch with their timer, which sped up during the countdown.
Caused some fireworks to go off prematurely.
But it was a blast to be in the crowds and experience it.
And the timer was reset so we could enjoy the correct countdown to 2024.
Let's share pricing and then give our final impressions.
Our amazing and centrally located Airbnb was $920.27 or $30.67 per night.
The Airbnb also was cleaned weekly at no added charge, and we absolutely adored our host and co-host.
There's no on-site washing machine, but that doesn't matter because we paid $5 to get our clothes washed.
We allowed them to air dry, but our wool clothes dry so quickly that it's a non-issue. The wool clothes we wear are on our gear list, which is linked.
Remember, merino wool is not the same everywhere. I got a great haircut for only $3 at Dara Haircut. Highly recommended. I did pay $10 though because I felt that was too cheap.
Our countryside agricultural tour with Airbnb experiences was $70 for both of us, which was an incredible value for all we got to see, do, and taste. Lunch or dinner at our place was extremely affordable. My spicy basil beef was $2.50. Kevin's pork fried rice was $1.75, and our fresh fruit mango shakes were $1 a piece.
Crazy prices. Prices at the Italian restaurant Il Forno were a little high for Cambodia, but still super reasonable. Pizzas were $10.50 and $13, and large enough for leftovers.
Wine was $5 per glass, and a craveable chocolate mousse with some of the best dark chocolate we've ever tasted was also $5.
We paid a grand total of $39.75.
With leftovers.
On other occasions when we visited, the pasta dishes were $9 and $11 respectively.
Flat whites at the Little Red Fox Espresso were $3.50 a piece and were some of the tastiest coffees we've had anywhere.
Their blat, a bacon, lettuce, avocado, and tomato bagel sandwich, was super tasty at $6.50.
And the famous and filling bougie bowl was only $4.75. And sometimes it was so filling that I had to take away half of it.
Khmer Kitchen cost us $23, but we left very full and satisfied.
Spring rolls were $3, watermelon juice was $2.50 a piece.
JUDY'S fish soup was $5.
And Kevin's fried fish was $4.50, and his grilled chicken with rice was $5.50.
We could have gotten away with a lot less food.
Yes. Soben Cafe restaurant also had really great prices. We typically paid $11.25, and that included Khmer curry with chicken and a side of rice for me at $4.25.
A hamburger and fries for me at $4, and $1.50 each for watermelon fruit shakes. So to wrap up, why do you think we could live here?
Oh, so many reasons. We barely scratched the surface of places that you could see for sightseeing or entertainment. But I think what really drew us were the people. 100%. They were just so amazing.
Yeah, the town was walkable, and every place we went, they were courteous, they were quick with their service. They would remember us, say hello. It was just that kind of warm hug of a feeling, especially at a local coffee shop. They were even giving us free coffee because we were there so often.
And just the energy here. Cambodia hasn't always had a happy past, but we felt pretty content and at peace and warm and welcomed. It just felt easy.
Yeah, I think the people's attitude made it that way. No matter where we were going, what we were doing, even when we had people asking us if we wanted tuk-tuk rides, it's not like they were pushing or anything. They say good day, they'd say good morning, and then when they knew we were walking by all the time, they'd say good morning anyway, and tomorrow, right? It's like, yeah, tomorrow. But maybe not. It just was a light lift. Everything felt like a light lift there.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode and that you'll subscribe if you aren't already so that you can catch our next episode from Angkor Wat.
And don't forget to go to definingginamarie.com. Lots of great articles there, and our gear guide, and our community forum.
Until next time.
Until next time.